Friday, you can book a tour on the biggest, baddest speedboat tour at 50% off. Must show Florida ID in order to get the discount. Tour special only available during September. Call 305-373-7001. That's 305-373-7001 to reserve your tickets on Thriller Miami Speedboat Adventures.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Alrighty, welcome aboard. A little post-game show action coming to you live from Sports Grill here in Miami Lakes as the Raiders are getting ready to line up for the game-winning field goal with 3 seconds left on the clock. The Dolphins have used their final timeout to try to ice the kicker. Oh, no, it's a flag is what we have here as we await for the final field goal here of the game, which I will admit, listen, I'm actually shocked that it got even in overtime. I felt it would be an ugly game, but, man, this was as ugly as it could possibly get, and a season for the Dolphins that I think is getting uglier, obviously, by the week, as we await the field goal now attempt, which is a 23-yarder, I believe, or a 22-yarder, something like that I am seeing there. And they got it. Raiders got it, baby. They got it. They got the win. They will enjoy the victory, 31-28 over the Miami Dolphins. It will drop the Dolphins to 1-2. Raiders are enjoying a 3-0 start now on the season. Listen, what can I tell you? It was a game where when I start to look at, you start to take inventory on what's the game about and how difficult of a season this is going to be for Miami. Jacoby Brissett showed me something today that I was wrong. I thought you could actually be competitive. And I know this thing got into overtime, and I know a couple of plays were made towards the end, but you can't win with that quarterback. If that's the quarterback that Miami has to have for the next couple of weeks, listen, next week is against the Colts, which is actually a winnable game if you had a quarterback that you can actually win with. And right now, I just don't see that with Jacoby Brissett. I don't see a team, the way they called that game, they have zero confidence in him whatsoever. All right, everything was crossing routes. Everything was slants. Everything was short comebacks. That's basically what the offense was the entire night. It was really, really limited. And one of the things that, again, I thought I was definitely wrong about this. I thought you could be, competitive with Jacoby. He is as slow as molasses in reacting. That safety that they gave up, that was actually on Brissett, not the call. On that play, where you're standing is where you grab the snap and you throw right away. It's a quick hitch. The problem is he's not a quick twitch player is the whole issue. You know what I mean? Hey, Sean, can you tell him to lower it a little bit, the broadcast? So to me, that's kind of what's the issue right now, is that you got a quarterback that is incredibly limited. He's more limited than what I thought he was. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell by the kind of game that they called. They don't have confidence in him. So this actually becomes a disaster of an offseason signing. this is one where they have to look around and go, whoa, what did we do here? And they should go immediately to Reed Sinnett. Reed has way more athleticism than Jacoby. He's a much more quick twitch athlete than Jacoby. I mean, listen, right now, this is a team that is going to have a hard time to win games. They can be competitive because that's kind of who Brian Flores is. And today you saw it. Even today, playing a terrible game, they were competitive. They got the early touchdowns. Sadly, they gave up the safety and they missed the field goal, which obviously was a huge difference in this game. But the way they called the game, it tells me right away that they have no confidence in Jacoby Brissett. And after watching Jacoby Brissett play, he's too slow, man. He's just way too slow. It's not that he isn't smart or anything like that. I think he sees things, but he doesn't react quickly. And that's a problem. And to me, if you're going to be, at least you're going to try to be competitive. Like next week, you have a winnable game at the stadium. This was a winnable game. And you had a chance. If you had somebody a little bit more competent at quarterback, you could have easily won. I think if Tua's healthy, you win this game, actually. I mean, I'm impressed that they hung in there. I'm impressed that they took it to overtime, to be honest with you. I thought it would be a gritty game. I thought it would be tough. I didn't think that they would fold like, some of you out there have given up on the season like it's over. They battled all the way to the end because this team has got some character. But they lack a certain – and look, I saw the comments about the offensive coordinators. I don't know if I don't know what offensive coordinator is going to do better with Jacoby Brissett. That's why his numbers in Indianapolis are solid, but they're not spectacular because he's not a spectacular athlete. He's not a spectacular quarterback. He's just a guy. And I thought you could be a little bit more competitive with him, but that's the one thing that stands out to me, that if that's your quarterback, you're pretty much losing almost every game with him. Your team is going to have an amazing game. You're going to have to come up with some turnovers like they did today. Landon Roberts obviously got the interception and took it in for a touchdown. That was obviously an enormous play for the Miami Dolphins. This Brissett, wow, it was ugly, dude. I mean, I was way off on that one, way off. That's how tell you that also tells you that the team is not too bad when you can actually compete with that at quarterback. I'm dead serious. Like, there's no reason for him to be on the roster. Seriously. I'd rather go with a young guy and watch him make mistakes than go with a veteran who doesn't have the talent to get it done. You know what I mean? So, tough one as they end up losing 31-28 in overtime. We are awaiting, obviously, the press conference for Brian Flores. When he addresses the media, we will then get that press conference to you. And the players, I'm sure, will also address the media. You will hear from the players. We'll hear from Omar Kelly from the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. We'll hear from Alan Poupart from Sports Illustrated, both of our insiders who are covering the team. We'll get their thoughts on what went on in this game and their thoughts on what's going to go on moving forward. Because remember, they've got the Colts next week. Winnable game. You got a chance, right? You're home. But then the following week you play the Bucs, which is definitely a loss. There's no way you're going to win that game. And today the Bucs ended up losing to the Rams. So you know that they're going to want to get back on track over the next couple of weeks, and Miami will be one of them that they'll get back on track with. But again, it's hard for me to feel hopeful when you've got to overcome that at quarterback. It's just way too much, and you need so many things to fall in place in order for you to actually have a chance to win. I'm amazed. As I was watching that game, I kind of started losing hope that they could win it because of watching Brissett play. You know what I mean? And listen, defense doesn't get away with stuff. They screwed up in this game plenty. All kinds of players did not play well, and they gave up big time plays. In that last run right there, X had a chance to make a tackle. Jalen Phillips did too, and the guy ran for a long one and ended up setting them up already for the game-winning field goal at that point. And so they had opportunities to make plays. X also gave up a big pass play on Henry Ruggs. The defense, they gave up a 100-yard rusher today to Peyton. I mean, plenty of players had opportunities to make plays. I can't lay it all on Jacoby, but watching the quarterback play, I have a hard time imagining that you're going to be competitive with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. This is one where I gotta, and I know that in the preseason, and some of you out there, you were, oh, well, he's better. He's not better than Tua. I don't care what anybody tells me. Look, man, you want to tell me that Tua can't stay healthy? I can't argue that. Those are the facts. He's sitting out with the rib injuries. So he definitely is fragile and he can't stay healthy. But he is a much better quarterback than this guy. Much better. Let's see. Gave up 100 yards to a backup running back. Exactly. Yeah, no, the defense deserves its share of criticism today, even though they did come up with a big play that they needed in a big-time way. Not saying Brissett is a good QB, but that was a gutsy game. Please. I saw a Jag that got lucky and made a couple of plays. I don't know what you're looking at total, but I don't look at that as a gutsy game. I look at a very mediocre quarterback that was able to make a couple of throws, but not a guy that I would ever want quarterbacking the team. To me, Jacoby Brissett gave me very little hope as a backup. Now, after watching him, I have zero hope for him as a backup. I seriously do. Run defense was weak. You're right. I mean, they lost this game all around. Never saw Brissett the sidelines once talking to any of the offensive coaches, looking at plays for studying anything. He seemed like this was the last place he wanted to be. We need to start Sept. I don't know, Lisa, because I can't see the whole field and I can't watch everything. So I have no idea from television. I can't do that. If I was at the stadium, I definitely would be able to tell if you're right or not. So I can't say that he did or that he didn't do it because I can't see the whole field. Two Extreme says, Big O, the play calling was a bit disappointing today, and the penalties and the safety came back to haunt us. Brissett did what he can. He ain't Brady, and Sept, his nerves would have been panicked. Yeah, I know. You're probably right about the nerves with Sept, but I'd rather go with a young guy and have him learn and see if you can get anything out of him and see if there's upside in a guy that there is zero upside. And that's my problem with Brissett. There is zero upside to what he did today. Nothing. He has enough experience. He has shown he's played enough in this league. He's shown that he's, below average as it is. And then watching him today, Brissett is nothing, dude. I'm sorry. It's a terrible signing is what Brissett is. I just think, I'm telling you, I'd rather go with any young guy out there and try to work the young guys at least. He can't even play with any kind of moxie either. It's like he sees everything half a second too late. And there are no anticipatory skills either whatsoever in any of his throws. How about the officials on the Fuller interference pass in the end zone? Yeah, it's a bad call, a bad no call against the Dolphins. Yeah. But this offense is so poor with this quarterback that it's hard for me to just, complain about that. And it went like pretty much through Waddle's hands. If you didn't have his arm held, what can I tell you? Big O, a smart man once said that if you have two QBs, you don't have a QB. Similarly, if you have two OCs, you don't have one. I can't blame the OCs with what's going on the O-line and the quarterback. I just can't. And I don't know exactly what the OCs call that then the quarterback ends up, throwing something else. I have no idea. And the safety was all on the quarterback, actually. If the quarterback actually threw the play the right way, the receiver would have had a chance to get out of the end zone. But because he telegraphed it, because he takes the snap and looks over and takes a step back, that's it. The DB saw it. It's over. You can't do that. This is a snap, no-look throw. Like you snap and you're throwing because you were already going there. So you practiced this. It's like a hot potato. Watch the play. Go look at my Twitter feed at Big O Show. And I put the video up. And notice how he takes the step and looks over. He could not do that in that play. He gave it all away to the DB. That safety was on Brissett more than anybody else. Go look at the play, and you'll see what I'm saying. It's where you're standing. You snap, grab the ball, and throw right away. You don't look and take a step back. That's all the DB needs to know. You're going there, and he's already coming at the receiver. It's over. They gave him enough cushion. That's why the play was called, because there was enough cushion. But if Brissett is going to take a half hour to make the play, it's over. Folks, it doesn't matter who's coaching, who's throwing passes, who's running routes. With this offensive line, it's going to be difficult to develop a QB. T-Way, you are 1,000% right, my friend. I cannot argue with you at all on that. I mean, it's a disaster of an offense right now. And they don't have anything dynamic at quarterback to kind of change it. If you go look around the league, unless you have, Tom Brady, unless you have like an established stud that can pass from the pocket, that is just made for that. Outside of that, you're trying to add something that has something that's dynamic back there, that can move around, that can make quick decisions, that's got a quick release, all of those things. Jacoby Brissett has none of that. I mean, I got to tell you something. For me, it was painful to watch the offense the entire game with that guy quarterback. Really bad. Really, really bad. And again, line had its moments. There were times that they did a couple of things. They're not anywhere near you, where you need them to be, obviously. And the defense gave up plays, man. And they had to play a lights-out game, and they did not do that. And the defense could not have gone into this game going, okay, the offense is going to complement us. No, the defense had to go into this game thinking we are going to carry this team today. And they failed. They gave up yards on the ground. They gave up big plays through the air. They didn't pressure Derek Carr nearly enough. Let's go to the head coach, Brian Flores. Go ahead. Here we go.
I mean, there was definitely a lull there in the middle of the game, second and third quarter. Couldn't get much going offensively. And then looked like he got a lot more comfortable as the game went on, stepping up in the pocket, made some big throws there at the end, some big plays at the end to bring us back and send the game into overtime. But ultimately, it just wasn't enough. We got to play better across the board, offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game. But these guys is a resilient group. They'll get back to work and do everything they can to make the correction so that we can play a little bit better.
Along those lines, those unnecessary roughing penalties in second and third quarter, did that kind of take the wind out of you guys' sails?
Anytime you get penalties like that, extend drives, move the ball. I think some of those were defensively in some situations where we would have had them in I would say, second down, which did lead to, first downs and field position. And against a good offense like the Raiders, and you don't want to give them extra yards. So, those hurt us for sure. And, again, one or two plays, I mean, that's what it really boiled down to today. And, we got to be better in that area.
The safety there in the first half was Jalen the first read on that play?
I got to go back and look at it. We didn't execute it well. Obviously, got to do a better job. But I need to go back and look at that. It was a bad play for us. We had some momentum going. Kind of shifted the game a little bit. And again, one or two plays in the game, we may have a different outcome, and we got to play better.
What was your view of that 4th and 20 play that Brissett converted to Gesicki? I think it went for 27 yards.
Yeah, I thought it was a great play. I think there was some rush on there. I think the ends got up the field. Jacoby was able to step up and slide to his left, right of the defense, and they made great catch, great throw, great catch to Mike there on the sideline.
How did you feel about some of the physicality and aggressiveness that seemed to me was a point of emphasis for your club in this game?
I think, we want to play physical. We want to be aggressive. We want to play fast. I think that's something we talk about. I think we got that today. We just didn't get the execution we needed, or enough of the execution we needed to win the game. But, credit to the Raiders. Just talking to John afterwards, they got a good team. They're doing a lot of good things. And, it's a hard place to play with the noise and the environment here, which was, a great environment. So, but that's what it is in the National Football League, and we've got to do a better job of executing.
What factors, we haven't seen you since Tua went on IR, what factors contributed to the decision?
We just felt like it would take that long. At the end of the day, that's kind of how we felt. And look, there's nothing more important than the health of the player. And we just felt like that was the best decision for him and for our team.
Brian, do you feel like you found something to work with on offense in the last stretch there, or is
every game's different? We'll make the corrections from today. Some things that we did well, we'll try to continue to do them. Things that didn't go so well, we'll try to correct them. But I think we got some things going at the end, but it wasn't enough, and we got to be better.
A comeback like this, the way you were so competitive at the end, might, build the teammates' faith in Jacoby and what he can do for this team over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think they believe in each other. These guys, they believe in each other. I think we know how we work. I think we're always going to fight and give great effort. We just got to have better execution. But yeah, there's no moral victories. I think those guys are disappointed in there. We want to win. That's our goal every week. And we didn't get it done today. We didn't execute well enough. And we'll go back, make some corrections, and get back out there next week.
At first glance, what seemed better about the offensive line's performance?
The protection was better. I thought we ran the ball, effectively in early in the game, and at times, throughout the game. So that's something hopefully we can build on. You always want to run it, but there were also some instances where we gave up some pass rush, and they got more than two, but they got a good pass rush over there, and the guys fought to protect Jacoby. We were able to step up and make some plays, but again, not enough.
Right, it seemed like Jacoby, or at least the scheme, was more willing to push the ball downfield there late in the game. Was that part of the plan? Was that his decision making, or was it just something the Raiders were giving you at the end?
Yeah, I think we needed chunk yardage, and he pushed it. We thought we had some opportunities, in other parts of the game, and we didn't execute. And later in the game, there were some instances where we did, but it wasn't enough. And we got to do a better job.
Joe wanted to be more aggressive with the offensive approach earlier in those first three quarters before that?
I mean, look, hindsight's 2020. I think we got off to a good start. We just didn't maintain that. But good. Look, let's give credit to the Raiders. They did some nice things. They made some adjustments really in all three phases. They got good players, good coaches. And at the end of the day, they pulled out the win.
Were you asked about the safety? I'm sorry, I got there late.
I was. I mean, we just didn't execute. I mean, that's at the end of the day, Dave. That's we just didn't execute. I think there's going to be, as we watch the film, several plays we wish we had back. And look, a game like this, it's one or two plays either way. They make one or two plays and it doesn't go to overtime. We make one or two plays. That's the National Football League. We've got to do a better job. It's a young team. We got to continue to learn from, every experience out on the field. But ultimately, at the end of the day, look, this starts with me. Our execution starts with me. So I got to do a better job of getting us to play better, execute better, and make the 2, 3, 4, 5 plays. That'll be the difference in the game. Thanks, guys.
All right, there is the head coach. Look, man, a gutsy game by the guys. They hung in there. They were able to make it a game towards the end. I admire the fight out of this team. There's no doubt that I admire the fight. It's kind of what I expected. That's why I picked the Dolphins. I said, okay, it'll be a really close game. A lot of you probably gave up on the Dolphins thinking that they were going to get routed. I felt like you were going to get some pride today, and I think you did get pride. Now, there are a bunch of shortcomings. Defense gave up way too many big plays. They gave up too much on the running game. They did not pressure Carr enough. The offensive line had its moments. They didn't give up. I think they gave up 2 sacks today. There were a bunch of times that Jacoby was pressured and he had to get rid of the ball and all of that. And I totally understand that, dude. I get all of that, man. Okay? But outside of Jacoby being pressured, I'll give you an example. Devontae Parker, you saw that pass towards the end down the middle of the field. You got to jump up to its highest point. Not like this with your hands here waiting for the ball with a DB behind you. That's why the DB is able to make the play. You're a big body receiver. You got to jump up in the air and stretch your hands up and chase the ball at its highest point. Devontae fails to do that. He waits for the ball and he plays it small for a big guy. These are things that, that's on Devontae Parker. It's 2 weeks in a row where you've got the ball in your hands last week where Jacoby actually made a good pass and it's in your hands and you end up dropping it. Here, you need to help your quarterback and you don't do it. And I'll give you another thing. They didn't run the ball enough. They actually had some success running the ball. You know that, right? It was Gaskins 13 for 65. That's a really good clip. Why not give it more to Gaskins? Brown was 7 of 31. That's over 4 yards a carry. They probably should have run the ball a little bit more in this game. I mean, you could tell you don't trust Jacoby, right? You're calling a lot of drag routes, a lot of crossing patterns, slants. You're calling all these short plays. And I don't know if there's something that over watching practice they weren't happy or, satisfied with his deep ball accuracy or something. I have no idea, but they didn't take a lot of deep shots. And then running, you would figure, okay, if you can run the ball, then why not run the ball a little bit more? And I know some of you already, hey, fire the 2 OCs. I don't know if I can blame the OCs for everything that goes on. I mean, how do I blame the OCs when their tackles or when their offensive line doesn't block? How do I blame their OCs when the quarterback hangs onto the ball forever to make a decision? You see what I'm saying? there's a lot of things that go on with the OCs that I can't answer. And if the talent's mediocre right now and you can't get it done, you can't find chemistry, it's hard. Now, I would have the one thing that I will question is why not run the ball a little bit more? The offensive line actually had some success at times running the ball. I think that would have been something better to establish yourself a little bit more in the running game, and they did. Look, man, right now there's nothing to be happy about. I mean, the only thing I can be happy about is that after a ass kicking to Buffalo, where nothing worked, at least this week you got a lot of effort and a lot of fight from the Dolphins, and I was at least proud of them that they came out with a lot of fight and enough fight, and with all the mistakes, they were still in this game, which in a way tells me that the Raiders they're really not as good as their 3-0 record. Because here's a Dolphin team that made a bunch of mistakes, key penalties too. There were a couple of defensive penalties that were poorly timed penalties. This time around, what was it? 8 for 68 was the penalties. The Raiders had more, 8 for 104 yards. Miami had 68 yards. They had 104 for the same 8 penalties. But that's more than Miami normally has. And here's a defense that made a couple of really key mistakes. And Austin Jackson also had a couple of key offensive plays, offensive penalties too down the stretch that killed this team. But that was something that's not characteristic of them to make those kind of mistakes, whether the defense was pressing or not. But that defense today had to come up with a masterpiece of a game, and they couldn't do it. Remember, you can reach out to us, and you can make a donation to the show on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. On the Super Chat, first of all, Marino Castillo, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Says, Big O, I've been with you on Flores and Greer, but if they miss the playoffs this year, they should be on the hot seat. Lots of bad decisions. They got to... Hey, dude, I am not going to argue with you on this one. They better wake the hell up, and they better start getting this team in gear. And one of the things that they've got to look at right now and got to say we effed up is we effed up not getting enough experience on the O-line. We effed up, and maybe we should have gotten a better backup quarterback. Because with Jacoby Brissett and his limited talent, he's just too slow, dude. That was, I'm watching that game and I'm going, wow, this gives you no hope right here. None. Art of the Sport, thank you for giving us a little love on the Super Chat. Big O, the screen pass, the 2 Wildcat calls, the garbage mini screen to Gesicki on 3rd down. These 2 OCs share the most blame for the L today. Okay, here's the thing that I got to run by you guys. It's still Flores' call. Is it his call to keep it that conservative? Is it his call not to count? Because maybe that's why they called the Wildcats, because they don't trust Brissett. Think about that. If the thing was so conservative, why was it so conservative? Is it really the OC's call, or is it the coach saying, no, in that situation, I don't want Brissett making the play. Let's go with a Wildcat. Let's go with something else. And, by the way, I just told you, they were having success running the ball. So maybe they felt you take the quarterback out, you put the Wildcat in, you've got one more man on your side to run the ball. So you can kind of understand that. Like, I'm telling you, they probably should have run a little bit more. I mean, if you're going to run all these conservative calls, that's the thing. That's why I say that if Brissett's the guy you wanted, well, then you got to play him like you trust him. And they didn't play him like they trust him. And that's what I'll run by Allen and I'll run by Omar this. Because they called a conservative game. They don't trust him. And watching him, I don't blame them. Jason Romero, thank you, sir, for a little love on the super chat. We have 2 wannabe O coordinators, and I'm giving 1 more year for Flores for keeps hiring clowns for coaches. He needs to go. This defense still can't stop the run and no pass rush. I can't argue with you, 72 Fins logo. I'd love to have a discussion with you and say, you're wrong on this, you're wrong on that, but when you're right, you're right. Let's see. What do we got? Huh? Oh, okay. All right, we got Alan Poupart is going to join us for our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Insider Report. Let's take a couple second break here, the open, and let's get to Alan Poupart. Let's talk a little Dolphins with him now.
Let's get ready to talk Dolphins football. It's the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. With locations throughout South Florida, check out our sponsored locations in Miami on Bird Road and 114th, and in Miami Lakes in the Ryan Oaks Plaza. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Alan Poupart.
Nickelodeon.
It is time now. You can follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Poupart NFL. After watching this game and this debacle, I see somebody running out of the screen there in the background. That was good. That was good. I like it when they panic and they run out of the picture. That was awesome. All right, Alan. First of all, your thoughts on the loss to the Raiders?
Did you call it a debacle? I wouldn't call it a debacle. I would call it a valiant effort. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, especially after the way they played last week against the Bills. It was very disappointing the way they.
It was a gutsy effort. It was a
very gutsy effort. I mean, when they were down 25-14, I don't think you, me, or anybody else thought they were going to make a game of it.
No.
And they came back and give Jacoby Brissett a lot of credit because it wasn't very pretty. But no, I know you're not a fan, and I'm not necessarily a huge fan either. But give the guy credit. I mean, that 4th down pass to Gesicki in overtime on the 4th and 20. That was big time.
Yes.
And then even the late drive to tie the game at the end of the 4th quarter, that was very impressive also. So I think you got to give the man credit, give them the Dolphins credit for not quitting, especially after Brissett was stuffed on that quarterback sneak on 4th and 1 with 3.5 minutes left, 4 minutes left. And then they get the 3 and out with a huge sack by Brandon Jones on 3rd down, get the ball back, and then they move down the field. So I saw some good things. I listened to some of what you were saying to me. Yeah, some of the play calls were, I mean, throw out wide to your wide receiver 2 yards deep into the end zone with no blocker around him to help him out when you're back.
Well, that one I kind of blame Brissett because on that play, you're supposed to grab the snap and throw it without even looking. He takes a step back on top of the snap and looks that way before he throws, which he telegraphed it completely. On that play, he has to. But see, the problem is that I'm looking at him now, and there's no quick twitch in him. So you shouldn't really have him do that kind of a play because
that's a horrible play call.
That's not who he is because he has Byron Leftwich in him. And, it's a slow and long winding delivery and all that. You need a quick twitch guy to snap throw. You don't even look. You throw as you're looking. That he telegraphed that play. He killed that play himself, actually. I mean,
to me, it's still a horrible play call. And if you're going to call a wide receiver screen, have a blocker out there. I mean,
yes,
motion somebody in there to help him out. I mean, there's no two ways about it. And if you're going to kick a field goal on 4th and 2 in overtime, don't call a shovel pass to Mike Gesicki up the middle on 3rd and 3.
Well, that was just to angle the field goal, right? That's what that's at least that's what it seemed like to me. They wanted to center it for the field goal. That's kind of what they were doing there. That's all, you know what I mean? Hey, look at Parker. You're down the middle of the field and you're like this waiting for the ball. And it's like, dude, jump up and try to meet it at its point. You waited for the ball and you let the DB in the damn game. All you have to, you're tall, dude. Use your height. You played it small. There were some things too that were just, it just didn't jive, man. It was a frustrating game overall. Look, how come they didn't run more? They actually did all right running the ball. It was crazy.
That's a great point. But see, to me, I don't look at the Dolphins as being like a tremendously talented team.
No, they're not.
And to hang in there the way they did against the Raiders, who were 2-0, I think says a lot about them, even with all the Piccadillys and the things we can pick at. And there were several things we can pick at. But it was a very, very gutsy effort, no question about it.
Where do they go from here? Do you try to get Reed Sinnett involved in all of this? Or do you continue with Jacoby Brissett? Because, dude, it was all crossing routes and slants and short comebacks. You called a very conservative game, and a game that was, I used to have some fun with the man in the box thing with Tannehill. They did kind of play a man in the box in this game almost. There were a couple of shots, but not enough. It seemed like the game plan was really close to the line of scrimmage, dude.
Let's be honest, is it really that much different than what they do in Tua as a quarterback? I mean, it's a conservative, it's almost a let's not lose the game on offense type of game plan pretty much every week, if we're being honest. I mean, until the 2-minute warning, the longest completion of the day was 12 yards. I mean,
right.
I mean, holy smokes. I mean, we can throw the ball downfield. And then they started airing it out. And where they got, and here's the thing that drives me nuts about teams that don't want to chuck it downfield. How did they tie the game? They got the pass interference call in the end zone against Mac Hollins. In overtime, they easily, and I mean easily, could have gotten a flag when he went deep to Will Fuller.
You talk about the one in the end zone.
One in the end zone.
That was interference. That was interference, dude.
And this is what happens when you chuck it deep. That those plays. I mean, 4 things can happen: a long completion, a DPI, incomplete, or an interception.
That's right.
Well, 2 of those are really good. An incompletion is not the end of the world, and then a pick if it's third down and it's a 50-yard pass, and that's as good as a punt. So,
right.
I mean.
I'm with you.
All sorts of craziness going on around here.
Yeah, I feel you. You look at the team now. So I just asked you on the whole thing. Do you try to go to Reed Sinnett here? Do you mix it up a little bit because you can get maybe a better athlete back there? Because if you're going to call this conservative game plan with him, and I still think with Tua you were willing to take some different shots. And I also think when you play that short game with Tua, he's a lot quicker at that decision than Brissett. It was like one of those where he would drop back, and then he'd unload a short pass. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? With Tua, it's quick. He makes that quick decision. It keeps moving a little faster. With him, it kind of slows things down. So what do you do at quarterback? Do you think they stay there, or is there any chance they get the youngin involved?
There's zero chance they go to Reed Sinnett. I mean, look, he's a nice story, and I understand he played really well in the preseason finale against Cincinnati. But let's slow our roll here. Let's understand it was a preseason game with the defense doing pretty much everything vanilla. This is a rookie free agent who's never played an NFL regular season game. I mean, you don't think his head's going to swim with everything the opposing defense is going to do it with them?
I think we lost them there. Are you saying there? Did you continue, Alan, or did you stop?
No, I stopped.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought it cut you off there. Okay.
I have to pause you one quick second, though. I got it.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
By the way, make sure you follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL and smash the like button while you're watching there. You may not like the result today with the Dolphins, but at least please smash the like button because it's very, very important that you smash the like button. And, of course, don't forget that you can follow us on Twitter at Big O Show. You can also, remember, you can reach out to us by making a donation on Cash App and Venmo at Cash Big O Show. Chris Adams says we need to do more on offense. Offensive coordinators are not working out. Play calling is bad. Why can't we do this 3-4-5 wide and pick our shot? Enough of this load the box and get tricky. Can't argue. I can't argue. But the question is, do you have the quarterback to do it? That's what I question now. Is do you have the quarterback to actually get what you want done? Is the problem with all of that. Do we have Alan yet? Okay. All right, we're going to get Alan back in a minute. Ban LaShawn Brown. I don't know who's Oh, okay. All right. Tua would have won this game. I see. Okay. LaShawn, just so you'll know, abusive use of the chat and posting the same comment 4,000 times gets you blocked. So you got your warning now. So it's up to you. You want to get blocked, you keep posting the same comment and you will get blocked. Okay? We got him? All right, go ahead. There he is, Alan.
Hey there.
Alan, you there? All right.
I'm here.
All right. What was it, a delivery?
Little technical difficulties.
Okay. All right. Not a problem. All right. So defense, too. While they got the Landon Roberts play, I also think they still gave up too many yards on the ground. They still committed too many penalties, key penalties, too. And they gave up way too many plays. They still gave up big plays in the passing game. Your thoughts on the defense?
Everything you just said. And look, if we're going to be honest, I mean, they caught a break on the pick six because the tight end completely stopped his route.
Yes.
And Carr was throwing to a spot and whoops, right into the hands of Landon Roberts, who showed off his, 4.9 speed. But hey, still got there. But no, I mean, yeah, it's a defense that, again, still has to do its living off of turnovers. And one area that was so good last year was third down defense, and it's not so good this year. They generally, in the first two games, were better, especially in the first game, were better in the red zone defense. We're not necessarily saying that. So, I mean, there are reasons for concern with this defense. No, they're giving up a lot of stuff. There's not enough. I felt like Emmanuel Ogbah, for example, I really felt him like in the first half with his pass rush, and then in the second half, I don't even know if he played. I mean, he was completely not there. I'm waiting for Van Ginkel to be more of a factor the way he was last year.
Yeah.
Same with Jalen Phillips. Christian Wilkins had probably his best game of the year. I felt him out there a whole lot, but they're missing Raekwon Davis in the middle of that defensive line, particularly against the run. So, and no, there are issues on defense, and some of those penalties are not good. Like Javon Holland, that personal foul he had, and he literally lowered his head to hit him with his helmet when the guy's literally out of bounds. All you have to do is push him. Why are you lowering your head to make that contact? And then on the touchdown dive, I mean, it's great that he comes from the side and slaps the ball away, but suppose you try to get in there and prevent him from, clearing the goal line before you do that. So right now they're not a great defense. I mean, they have that long streak, but they had one takeaway today, which was a big one because it was a pick six, but it's not a defense without its flaws.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Does Raekwon, is he eligible to be activated sometime this week, or is it after the Colts game when he's eligible? It's after the Colts game. Okay, because I know it's 3 weeks, but I wasn't sure about the exact date or whatever. But that's true. It went into week 1 already at that time. So, yeah, that's why it ends up being after the Colts. Great, they have him for the Tampa Bay game so they can really make it a game.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll help a whole lot while Brady is nickel and diming them to death.
You know what I hate is that this was a winnable game today, obviously, with the right play all around and including at the quarterback position. And then next week you've got another winnable game. The Tampa Bay game, there's no shot in winning in that one at all. But it's like next week you got a shot to maybe get back to 500 if you can actually do it. The question is, quarterback-wise, and now I thought that the move for Tua was actually a good one because he's not the kind of kid you want to play at 80%.
No.
He's just not. He's not that player. There are, Brett Favre, you could probably play at 80% and he'll gut it out. Russell Wilson, he's done it before. This is not the kid because of, physically who he is.
No question. And yeah, there was no point in even pushing it. So I kind of got the feeling it was trending toward that. Once Brian Flores told us it's actually fractured ribs and it's not bruised ribs.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that was a logical move.
Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL, and of course, catch his work at Sports Illustrated. They do a great job of putting all his articles on one page. So if you're a Dolphin fan, it's a great spot to bookmark, and then you can always get all the latest articles from Alan Poupart. Does an excellent job, and you can catch him here every week on Wednesdays and on Sundays right here on the program. Alan, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you taking time.
You got it, Big O. Speak on Wednesday.
Thank you, sir.
This has been the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Insider Report with Alan Poupart, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and never miss a report. Search Big O Radio Show on most platforms. Visit Sports Grill and our sponsored locations in Miami on Bird Road and 114th and in Miami Lakes in the Ryan Oaks Plaza.
All right, we are back. We thank Alan Poupart. We got some of the players also already. We'll hear from some of the players. We'll hear some of their comments. We'll get Omar Kelly, I'm sure, sometime in the second hour, which we're close to starting the second hour. James Baker's asking, Big O, why Sept out of him and Brissett? Doesn't Brissett give us the best chance to win until Tua comes back? It's too early to experiment with a young guy, isn't it? Normally, you're right, James. You are so right. But I'm not down on the team because you saw it today. They got fight in them. They got heart, man. And I banked on their heart. That's why I went out on a limb and picked them. But I have no hope for Brissett. After watching what I saw today, it's too much of a mission to coach around his deficiencies. Is my problem with Brissett. So you're right. No, he probably is their best chance because to put Reed Sinnett in there would be probably murder. It would be a catastrophe, but I'll try it because at this point, I don't see. I didn't see anything in Jacoby today that I can't see in any quarterback in the NFL. Any quarterback can make a couple of throws that he made. But I need a guy that can actually really manage the game and can do all the things you need out there. And he does them, but a half hour slow. And that's a problem. I really saw a major problem in Jacoby. I know it looks deceiving because it's a 31-28 overtime loss, and they were able to come back. But it's just kind of – it's almost like you needed a bunch of crap to fall in place for you to come back. You know what I'm saying? And it's just one of those things that I'm not buying right now. And that's I feel bad right now for the team. You know, I talked about this all year long with the Marlins, right? You got a bunch of young cats that are pitching really well, and they get no run support. And it's frustrating. And I kind of see a team that I know has got some guts and character because, look, you saw the Dolphins today. Yeah, to come back from the 35-0 and go on the road to play like that, they showed some character. But the guy that's supposed to lead you, it's almost like you're coaching not to lose around him. And that's a problem for me. Okay? Big O Watson's that missing link. Guys, so what? So what? What does that do for you? You can't trade for him now. So what do you want me to tell you? What do you want to talk about? What's there to talk about with Watson? You know, I get it. You have no football comments, right? You can't add anything to the conversation. So let's just throw Watson in there, which makes 0 sense because you can't trade for him. They're not trading him. They're not offering him, right? So let's just throw it out there. Houston's waiting till all the legal issues are done so they can get maximum value. So we all know that. So what's your Watson comment? It's not going to do anything for Miami. He's not going to be here next week. He's not going to be here next month. And let me tell you something. You don't really want Watson right now. Okay? If you're smart, if you actually have half a brain, the last thing you want to do is a team that doesn't have an offensive line to put Watson back there. Because you think he's going to bail you out with no line. That's funny. So you want to trade all those picks for a guy. Let's just say he was available so we can just entertain your stupid-ass conversation. Let's say he's available. So you trade for him. Now you put him behind a line and he blows out his knee. How's that work out? I mean, listen, I get it, man. I get it. Fans are fanatical. You rarely actually think logically. So you just want to throw stuff out there. So immediately you want to get to the Watson conversation. The Watson conversation is for the offseason. If Tua doesn't come back and ball, or if he comes back and shits the bed, as they say, or gets injured again, then yeah, we're talking about a new quarterback. That'll be in the offseason. And it'll be Watson or Rodgers. That's what's going to happen. But talking about Watson now is an incredible waste of time, and it's just stupid at this point. Just stupid. Why would you want a rapist as your franchise QB? Well, fans are gonna want anything. Scott Jackson says, yes, we do want Watson. What's the worst that can happen? He gets suspended and misses games. Tua misses games every year. There you go. Remember, they traded for Tunsil. Watson needs an O-line too. No, it's just, the funny part is, any Dolphin fan that actually thinks Watson's going to bail out this team with no line, you're an idiot. You're a dumbass. You need him in the offseason so you can go sign free agent linemen and then trade for him if you're going to add him. Or Rodgers, by the way. Rodgers isn't bailing you out either behind no line. Both of them are going to get injured. And Rodgers has blown out his collarbone, I think, twice, I believe. Big O, I'm wishing we drafted Herbert instead. I'm sure lots of you are wishing you drafted Herbert instead. Robbie Robb says the problem is we let go of Tua and watch he'll become a stud on another team. Always happens. Let's see. What else do we have here? Jan Vonk says, Big O show, the offense looked better today. They still didn't win the game. The defense had a great outing today, and the O-line looked better while still needing to improve. They got 2 gifted touchdowns, one by the defense, one by the short field. Offense did all right. It was a gritty game by the team. That's why I give them a lot of credit for showing a lot of character in this game, those guys. I will agree. But the offense, by the way, make sure you smash the like button. James Baker says, Omar Kelly is right. It all starts in the trenches, and right now we got some weak-ass trenches. No QB will win consistently with what we have now. You are right, sir. Brooklyn Rob says, Herbert has a real good line and great weapons. Stop, please. Of course. But what are you going to do? Justin Herbert, how did I do today, O? You did great. Kansas City committed a really stupid penalty and gave you a break. Way to go. You enjoy the win. Nice job. Finns will be better against the run when Davis comes back. He is a massive man who's getting better and better. Yeah, my brother, but if they don't get better at quarterback and they don't get better on the O-line, that's going to be a problem. I will say that. All right, let's take a really quick break. When we come back, we'll hear from Jacoby Brissett. We'll hear from a couple players. And then we'll hear from Omar Kelly from the South Florida Sun Sentinel with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report live from Sports Grill right here in Miami Lakes. Back with more.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
This is the Big O Show.
There's many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans. Support the Big O Show by using Cash App and donate to Cash Big O Show. Thank you for your incredibly loyal support.
This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, welcome back. Appreciate all of you out there for keeping it locked and for supporting the hell out of us. I appreciate you. By the way, Mark Jean Baptiste, thank you, sir, giving us a little love on Venmo. Ramon Martinez giving us a lot of love there on Cash App. Thank you, sir. Lots of love from Mark, lots of love from Ramon. Appreciate all of you out there. Remember, Cash App or Venmo, best way to make the donation to the show, because we get 100% of it on the super chat is great, but we only get 70 there. So YouTube gets 30. They have enough. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate all of you out there. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. Let's hear from Jacoby Brissett, the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, at least for now, because boy, this is some rough stuff going on. Let's hear from Brissett as he addresses the Meteors. Go ahead, Mr. Sean Stanley.
I mean, tough. It's tough one. We had our chances, obviously. Hats off to them. They capitalized on some of our mistakes. But yeah, it was tough. I think we played hard. The good thing is we stuck together. And that's all you want, especially coming into a hostile environment. We have a chance at the end, so, yeah.
You leave thinking we got something to work with now because of the way it ended?
Oh, for sure. I think in all phases of the game, I think we took a step forward. I think we got better. I think a lot of guys came up and made a lot of plays. We prepared well, and I think some of it showed. We obviously left a couple plays out there. I know I did personally. And so I think we're turning in the right direction. I think we got a lot to build off of. I mean, obviously, there's no more victories in this league, but yeah, I think we got a lot of stuff to build off of.
What made you more willing to push the ball downfield later in the game? It seemed like you were more aggressive late in the fourth quarter and in overtime.
Going against Gus, he tries to keep the ball in front of him. It's like a sin for their defense to get the ball pushed behind him. So, early on, I mean, we just had to understand, like, we had to take what they gave us. And over time, they would get tired of it, and we would have our chances up down the field. And as you see, we did have chances down the field towards the end. And we just didn't make the plays. I think we will down the line. But it was good to see, how we would react in those situations. Yeah.
So, like, situations like that where defense is forcing you to just take these 100 routes. In the long scheme, that's kind of a battle of wills, like who decided the game.
Yeah, and that's what Gus is all about. He wants the quarterback and the offensive coordinator to be disciplined and do that for 4 quarters. Like I said, I think we did a good job of it because at the end we still had our opportunities. And like I said, I think we obviously left a couple plays out there, but like I said, I think we got something good to work off of.
Jacoby, there were 3 plays that were really critical at the end. Your touchdown run, the 2-point conversion, and then 4th and 20. I don't know what you do with a 4th and 20 situation, but you made it work. Can you tell us what was going through your mind on some of those plays?
Obviously the touchdown, I was trying to throw the ball away, but I didn't want to risk fumbling. We practice that situation all the time of having that play call in our back pocket. So it was a good job of the offense, and the players on the team on the field is being able to get to it on the run with a different grouping. And us keeping our composure. I mean, they were on the headset telling me. I looked up and we had like 15 seconds, I want to say. So it wasn't like a crazy rush. We just had no timeouts. And then I think we did a good job of getting to the spots, and obviously I ran, but then the 2-point, I think Will did a good job on. We put that play in, specifically for him because of what he can do. He did a good job, made a play on it, and that's all we can ask. And then the 4th and 20 is just do what you got to do, right?
I hate to bring up a bad play, but the safety, Coach Flores said was not a good play. What can you share with us to educate us a little bit about that particular play?
That it just wasn't a good play. It was a dumb decision on my part. Take full responsibility for it, and it's a great learning experience in that situation. That one that was a tough one. When you look back on plays that, hey, what could have alleviated this feeling that we have right now, and that was definitely one that I want back. Good.
All right, there is Jacoby Brissett addressing the media. And listen, he's going to be as vanilla as it gets. What are you going to do? It is what it is. One guy was Carlos. Let me see where you at. Polanco goes, where you at here? Because there's another comment of yours. I saw one earlier of yours. You're 1,000% right with Jacoby. Well, I guess it's just so many comments coming in. Don't forget, please, folks, to smash the hell out of the like button. But look, this is a player in Jacoby Brissett who I think Carlos was saying, I'm going to paraphrase what you were saying. I apologize if I don't get it right, Carlos, but he's not a guy that throws anybody open. It's once he sees the person open on the break, that's when he throws the ball. And he has a good enough arm because he's got an arm. He can sling it. He can throw it hard. But he's not a guy that's going to throw anybody open. There are no anticipatory skills there. There isn't a touch element to his game. His lack of athleticism back there also hurts him. His long delivery also hurts him. It's just, I almost feel like you're not really running the same offense. You can say you are, but you're really not. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that this week coming up, they dedicate a little bit more to the running game so you can maybe take a little more pressure. I told you this about Jacoby, right? I told you at the beginning of the week or midway through the week that Jacoby is the guy that you've got to keep between 15 and 25 throws in the game. You cannot make Jacoby be the guy that then has to carry you, because if you do that, you put him in a really difficult position. He threw 49 times today. 49 times for 215 stinking yards. You see what I'm saying? The guy had to complete 32 passes for 215 yards. Do the math. What's that, 7 yards an attempt? Right around there in that neighborhood? I'm telling you, this is not a guy you want throwing the ball a lot. I told you throughout the week, you need to dedicate yourself to the running game this week. You actually ran the ball some. Run it more. Jacoby Brissett is not the guy you want throwing the ball 50 times in a game. It just makes no sense. He's the guy you want to keep under 25 attempts. And you want him to complete about 15 or 20 of those attempts. You start throwing a lot, you start putting yourself at major risk. And this was also a game where the defense had to play lights out. And they failed. They failed miserably. They can't pressure Carr enough. They gave up way too many big plays. And I know that they're not an easy defense to defend, even without Josh Jacobs, which they're lucky they weren't playing against their number one back. That guy's a pain in the ass. And having said all that, let me tell you, Waller only had 5 receptions, 54 yards. That's pretty good. Problem is they couldn't stop everybody else. It was tough, man. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because you could be 2-1 right now. You easily could be 2-1 in a game where you didn't play well, and yet you were tied going into overtime, which again tells me that the Raiders really aren't that good. They're a little overrated right now. But hey, man, more power to them. They're 3-0, right? It's not like our beloved Dolphins are 3-0. They're 1-2. They're 1-2 and they're struggling. I want to get answers. I want to know how in the hell are you going to fix this now? Because you're at the beginning of the season. So you got to hope for the offensive line to improve from within. You're not going to find the answers in free agency right now. And you can't trade for linemen at this point because teams are going to hold you like it's highway robbery. They're gonna ask you for the world for any of their players. And you're going to have to overpay to a point that's just ridiculous. But if you don't improve the line, how in the hell do you find out if Tua can play or not? Now, I kind of feel bad that if Tua's going to come back to this and get beaten up. No quarter. Now, Watson, not Rodgers, bails you out behind this line, ladies and gentlemen. Those guys get injured behind this line. Guaranteed. They might make a few more plays, but they're going to take a beating anyway. They have no choice. Big O tough loss, but we fought just like the team, just like the team to compete. Agree, Raiders are a little overrated. The Raiders went 8-8 after a great start last year with a W in Arrowhead. Tuttle says Austin Jackson and Jesse Davis look pretty good at times in run blocking. Not pass protection, no bueno. No, you're right. I mean, it's just that's kind of the story of the line, Tuttle. It's just the way it is. There is no consistency on that line. Juan says, that's all good, but this organization have the cojones to make the switch at QB to Reed Sinnott. Oh, he will soon enough. Once he's convinced that the guy can't win, he'll do it. He'll probably go with him another week, but another bad performance. Well, they won't use the kid against Tampa Bay. So maybe it's after Tampa Bay. I don't know. And then we'll find out what's up with Tua. It's really what Poupart said. As much as I would like to see it happen or try it, they won't. They won't put a young guy in that position. They won't. And plus, you have Tampa in 2 weeks. You're going to put that young kid against Tampa? Tough. In all due respect, we're the same crap about Tannehill and the O-line. Yeah, but Tannehill can't play quarterback.
That's the difference. He was learning how to play the damn position. These guys aren't learning. They're actually quarterbacks. That's the difference. There's no learning curve here. The problem is they're not good enough. That's the key. Don't matter if we fought a loss by 3 was just as bad as a loss by 35. Looks the same in the win column. You are correct, sir. I can't argue with that one. Austin Jackson had how many holding calls today? I think it was 2. I believe it was 2. I believe it was it a holding and an offsides, right? Right. And then, was it 2 holdings, or was it like it was an illegal procedure? Because that was the late one, the procedure. So yeah, he had 2 penalties. Big O, I think this offense is worse than the Gase offense, and his was bad. Yeah, right now it is. Right now it is. This is a bitch of a position for the coach in the front office now. They have put themselves in a bitch of a position. The worst part is we don't own our first-round pick next year. Well, dude, they've owned enough first-round picks to turn the team around. So, it's not a matter of their first rounder or somebody else's. They've had plenty of first rounders. The ones that they've drafted, those guys need to elevate themselves too. That's really the talent you have now needs to get better. And I'm not sitting here giving up on these guys like a lot of you have. I'm not doing that. Still too young to do that. I got to see a lot more before we're convinced that none of these guys. The problem is there's so many of them, it puts you in a terrible position. Austin Jackson looked horrible in pass protection. Yes, he did. Waddle's role can be expanded in the offense, but have no time to make big passing plays, and OCs are too inconsistent, or the O-line's too inconsistent too at the same time. And let me tell you something. Waddle's dropping the ball too many times. And in 3 weeks, I've seen the ball on the ground with Waddle. It's not that he's lost every fumble. Thank the Lord. I think it's only 1 he's lost, which was last week. But he's dropping the ball too many times. He's got to watch that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on, but he better fix that, and quickly. We got any other players? Who? Mike Gesicki? All right, let's hear from Mike Gesicki here, who addressed the media. Omar Kelly should be joining us any minute now, but while we wait for Omar Kelly, we'll get Gesicki in there. Don't forget to smash the like button. Folks, don't forget. Also, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification button so you know every time we're on. Obviously, we'll be rocking tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Go ahead, Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, that's just a situational play that we go through, every Friday. So that's just, just me understanding the sticks, Jacoby making a play with his feet, keeping the play alive. The receivers, kind of, running their route to, have good spacing on that play. And obviously the defense knows it's 4th and 20, so you got to get past the sticks. Jacoby put a good ball out there, and my job is to go out and make plays when the ball is thrown me, and that was just an opportunity that I had to make the most of. Jacoby did great. I think he did a great job leading. I think he did a great job, getting guys lined up, and ultimately did a great job fighting. I think that's the biggest thing, man. We put him back there, and he kept plays alive, put the ball in phenomenal spots. I mean, Devontae had a huge catch on 4th down, and Jacoby, thread the needle there, thread the needle with me on 4th down. He had the game-tying touchdown, before the 2-point, obviously. So you can't say enough good things about Jacoby. I love playing with him. I love him as a teammate. I love him as a guy. Yeah, you got to give credit to the defense, honestly. Our defense for our quick start. Erod went out there, pick 6, really happy for him. It's obviously a place, where he was injured last year, and, kind of comes full circle for him. And then they got to stop on 4th down. And, we talk about getting the running game going. Malcolm goes out. O-line does a great job. Tight ends. I think Adam and Durham were in there. Just kind of sealing off the edge, and Malcolm, squirts out, gets a 25-yard, 30-yard touchdown run. And then, it's the National Football League. They're going to make plays as well. They did, and you got to take your hat off to them. And they're a great football team. And this was an unbelievable atmosphere, a lot of fun playing. But ultimately, a couple plays short. Yeah, I couldn't really put my finger on it, honestly. It's just you're out there all game, you're running your routes, and sometimes the ball doesn't come your way, but when it does, whether it's the biggest moment of the game or whether it's the first play, you don't know which play is going to be the biggest, man. So you got to go out and take advantage of every opportunity that you get. And I think I've said it hundreds of times with interviews with you guys. My biggest thing is just making the most of my opportunity. So I was presented a couple opportunities to go make plays, and I was able to do so. But like I said earlier, a couple plays short. So back to work. We'll be ready to go next week.
All right, there you go. Sorry about the echo there, and no, we don't have a mic open, so we can't figure out why we're getting the what's it called, the echo on it, because our mics were off. If the mics were on, you would have been able to hear what you hear now in the background. That would have been cranked up through, and it wasn't. So none of our mics were actually open. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know. Happens to me also sometimes when I'm in studio and I play some sound for you guys, and I have the mics off, and there's an echo, and we can't figure out what it is. So we will work on that. Mike Gesicki addressing the Meteors there. Love Mike, but gonna flourish somewhere else. Well, let's hope not. Waddle is still young. I feel like a veteran wide receiver would intentionally drop that screen. It comes with experience. That's not the NFL. That's the NFL, not college. Tony, he's dropped balls every week. Do you understand that? Every week. Okay? The other day he had that punt return when Jakeem got injured. He dropped it twice. He drops balls every week. All right? And I'm not talking about passes. I'm talking about possessions. Every week. He's not losing them, but he's dropping them.
I think he's referring to the safety play.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Okay. No,
I get that. He shouldn't have caught that, right? But, I mean, again, that's not his fault.
Nope, 100%.
Jacoby took 7 freaking years to deliver that ball. But still, I just, every week he's dropping balls. That's a little something that's just got me concerned. The good thing is, like I said, he's only lost one of them. But he's got to wake the hell up, okay? Where do you see 6 wins? I'm not ready yet. I mean, you guys are ready to just throw everybody under the bus, fire everybody, cut everybody, trade everybody off, trade for everybody else. That's your answers to all of this. And I'm just not ready to go there, I need to see a lot more before I'm ready to tell you, okay, you got to get rid of everybody. You know what I mean? If he drops the ball on the screen, it's a fumble, not an incomplete pass. It's not a forward pass. No, what he should have done on the screen is he should have just let it go through his hands to the out of bounds, not catch it. Just let it go through. But again, kid wants to make a play. It is what it is. By the way, Lucas, I can't pronounce your name. I'm with you. Coleman sucks. He's terrible. He is not good. Justin Coleman is as overrated as it gets. That is something that I forgot to mention. I'm glad you brought it up, sir. Thank you, Lucas. Good looking out on your part, because I saw Justin Coleman left and right making mistakes. You are so right on that one. That is one guy that should not be playing that much. Jacoby Brissett made me depressed today. I'm with you. Christopher Ramos says, hey, man, Raiders fan here. I just want to drop by and say Your team played a hell of a game. Your defense, like ours, could be something special. Crazy game regardless. Stay safe, my man. Thank you. Thank you, Christopher. Very nice of you. Very nice of you. Very classy on your part. And congratulations to your Raiders. I didn't think they would be 3-0, and they're 3-0. Pretty good stuff by the Raiders. Flores is overrated. Of course he is. He's a terrible coach. Fire Flores. Fire Greer. Cut Tua. Trade everybody. They all suck. Carl Sheeran says, a veteran player last week stated that Jacoby could start for another NFL team. I totally agree with you about Jacoby. Yeah, whatever veteran player said that, he must be friends with Jacoby. Okay? If you got Jacoby starting for you, you're done. Your season's over before it started. How can we continually, year after year, have guys running wide open in our secondary? If I want that crap, I'll watch college football. I'm sorry, Seti. It's a rough one. Derek says, Flores is a good coach, good defense, but the defense can't hold the game the whole time. Need an offensive coordinator. You need offense, period, dude. I don't think an offensive coordinator is going to make Jacoby Brissett play better, or the offensive line. You know, I just there's a lot more to this. I think it's a lazy take to just throw it at the offensive coordinators. I think it's offensive coordinators going, oh my God, I got to work with this. That's really the problem. Okay. You don't have a running game that scares people. You don't have a good offensive line, and your quarterbacks are below average. I'm sorry. What offensive coordinator is actually going to make something out of that? It's like judging a young quarterback behind a line that cannot block at all. It's hard, man. It's hard. I can't do that to those guys. If your quarterback is below average and your offensive line is way below average and your running game is below average, how do you, I'm sorry, what offensive coordinator is going to do well there? That's just like the moron that thinks, oh no, Deshaun Watson will save us. Deshaun Watson's going to get killed back here. I wish when we hit a guy at a point of attack on D, they wouldn't drag us for 3-4 yards forward. It happens several times. Honest analysis, our main problem is that we score less points than the opponent. So what you're saying is the Marlins and the Dolphins have the same problem. Okay, I'm with you there. Austin Jackson looks like he was fighting for his life out there. Basically, he's fighting for his career. Joel Love says, and there's a man with love in his name, it's over, Big O. We all had hope. It was postseason team, but rebuild far from completion. Enjoy watching for the sake of watching. The W will be sparse. 6, maybe. I mean, listen, I can't. Any Dolphin fan out there that doesn't have a lot of hope, what am I going to do? I'm not going to lie to you and start filling you up with all kind of hopium and make you feel good about something that's not true. Right now, I can't make you feel good about it. Now, I will say this. It's not nearly as bad as everybody makes it out to be. They're not that far away either from being a good team. There's a couple things that need to get tweaked. But it's not like they're light years away. They're still young. They still got a lot of improvement to make on several positions. And hopefully we'll see that improvement as the year goes on. Need a little water there. So I'm not going to go to the point of, oh my God, it's over and this and that. Look, it was kind of one of those things that if they made the playoffs this year, it would have been amazing in your third year of a rebuild to make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, it's not the end of the world if they can still muster to have some solid wins and show some improvement along the way as the year goes on. So this is kind of what we're going to have to wait and see now. I mean, what are we going to do? I'd love to, give you more, but I'm not, you know me. I just don't BS you guys. I never have. Good or bad, I'm not going to BS you guys. Hopefully we'll get Omar Kelly in a few minutes. Big O, it's still early on the verdict, or do you think this is going to be a long, painful season? Still early. I'm not ready yet because remember, Tua's out for 3 weeks. If you can get him back right after the Tampa game and he starts playing well and people start improving, then I can feel better about this. Right now, yeah, it's kind of tough. But I still have some hope that if you do get Tua back and somehow or another this line can get a little better, then maybe the season can get better. Maybe things can be a little bit more hopeful. But guys, if you want me to just, jump ship right now, light everything on fire and get rid of everybody, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that after game 3. And in a game where they didn't play well and they hung in there all the way to the end and gave you a gutsy effort. So next week is winnable. It's not like Indianapolis is coming to town and, oh, my God, they are a juggernaut. No, Miami can win that game at home. And hell, Jacoby Brissett is playing his former team. Maybe he plays out of his mind. You know how those guys love playing their former teams. Maybe he has the game of a lifetime. I got to hope. Big O, when do we say we need to get rid of Greer and how much longer do we need to wait? Derek, you wait however you want, my brother. I'm not here to convince you. You're already convinced, so why are you asking me? You're already sending me DMs that this draft is no good and that already. You're already giving up, dude. What can I tell you? I'm not here to convince you guys when to give up. You're going to give up whenever the hell you want to give up. I'm not. I'm not even close ready to give up on these guys. I got to see a lot more. And I'm certainly not even close to giving up on Greer and Flo. That's for sure. You can forget about that. Are they perfect? No. Did they screw up? Yeah. But that's kind of what happens when you got a new GM and a new head coach. They're not going to do everything perfect. They're going to make mistakes, and they're going to learn off their mistakes. And now let's hope they learn off those mistakes. That's the key. But again, I'm not. You want me to sit here and be an arsonist and light everything on fire? I'm not doing that. The worst play calling I have ever seen reminds me of Kippy Brown. Look at the offense, man. Look at the offense. Look at the offensive line. Baker is one of the worst linebackers I've ever seen in a Dolphin uniform. We signed him to a big contract extension. I'm not sure why he's so terrible, but I'll look back at the tape and see if he was that much of a problem. Oh, hasn't the O-line always been a problem and our run defense? Yes. That's been a long time problem for the Miami Dolphins. Yes. You are correct. That's a long quarterback's been a long time problem. Head coach has been a long time problem. Offensive line's been a long time problem. And run defense has definitely been a long time problem. And covering the tight ends, although that finally has gotten better. And they did a pretty good job on Waller today. Considering how good Waller is, they've done a better job with Eric Rowe at covering tight ends. But yeah, they've had a long-running list of issues. Yes, sir. I would agree with that. Big Homer still believes in Tua. Yes, I still believe in Tua. Yep, the big homer does believe in Tua. And he put the O as the big letter. I am the big homer. Robert Triana says, don't get worked up, O. Your health isn't worth it. These people are just trolling because you get fired up. God bless. Oh, we were scrappy. No quit. Gotta love that. Ref sucked. They did. They did screw Waddle in the back of the end. Was it Waddle or Fuller? It was Fuller. They screwed Fuller in the back of the end zone. Big time. There was no doubt that was interference. No doubt. And they didn't call it. Terrible call. Tuttle says Greer and Flo have made mistakes, but they are most competent regime since Parcells, Ireland, and Sperano. I would go Jimmy, not Parcells. Tuttle, that's where I would disagree with you. The Parcells regime was not good. I would call that a complete shit show. And again, I get a lot of you are doing the whole play calling thing. Until I see better talent on offense and consistency on the O-line and the running game, it's hard for me to look at it that way. And please don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. It is very important that you get the algorithms going so people find out more about the show. We got a lot of people watching right now. Please smash the like button. Remember, you can also support the show through Cash App or Venmo. Download the app. Easy to open the account. Send us a donation. Cash Big O Show is the address. Cash Big O Show. Are the Raiders at 3-0 a good team? I say if you can find a way to get a win, you're a good team, even if it's ugly. Okay, we competed. That just makes us competitive, but we haven't been that in years. Listen, man, I like this coach. I do. I think once they figure out and they get the right balance of talent, I think Miami's going to be a great franchise. I really do. But we have to be patient in all of this. I mean, new coaches don't take over and they just dominate. And then they become perennial dominating teams from there on out after cleaning the entire roster out. That's just not normal. Takes a while to kind of build all of this up. And to tell a Dolph fan to be patient, I get it. It's a mission. It's tough. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Give me 2 minutes, get some water, and get ready for a little Omar Kelly on the other side with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
This is the Big O Show.
There's many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans. Support the Big O Show by using Cash App and donate to Cash Big O Show. Thank you for your incredibly loyal support.
This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
This is the Big O Show.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Enjoy Miami in speed and style. Only on Thriller Miami Speedboat Adventures. Take advantage of special September Florida residence rate. Monday through Friday, you can book a tour on the biggest, baddest speedboat tour at 50% off. Must show Florida ID in order to get the discount. Tour special only available during September. Call 305-373-7001. That's 305-373-7001 to reserve your tickets on Thriller Miami Speedboat Adventures.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, we are back. We thank you for hanging in there with us. Omar Kelly is about to join us any second now, so we'll get our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. And as always, we'll get the latest from Omar Kelly and see what he thinks of the game. Listen, we're frustrated, we're pissed off, but I got to tell you something. I was proud of those guys today. There are no moral victories, as the coach would say, or anybody would tell you in pro sports. But knowing who they are, which they're not very good right now, they're not playing very well on both sides on all three sides of the ball, by the way, because it's not like special teams did a good job of covering, but today they weren't really difference makers, as in setting them up with some good field position. So there weren't any real good returns. So it wasn't like you were dominating on any side of the football. So I get it that we're frustrated. They're 1-2. We had higher expectations. We were hoping for maybe possibly a playoff appearance by the team. Maybe would be nice. Right now at 1-2, it's hard to think that they're going to the playoffs. But again, I know it's crazy to say. I'm not ready to give up on the team yet. You win this week coming up against the Colts. You go 2-2. You're going to lose against Tampa Bay, so you're 2-3. At 2-3, if you can get Tua back at that point, it's not the end of the world. I'm just saying. It's not the end of the world. You got a chance. You might be able to become more competitive. I will say this. I saw more out of the line today than I have in the first 2 weeks. So maybe they start trending. There were some good moments for Austin Jackson. I don't even know if there were any good moments for Austin Jackson in the last 2 weeks. So there were actually some moments at times. They actually ran the ball. There were some things there. So if you got a chance at building on something, we'll see. I'm not ready to give up on everybody and throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say. Rob says defense played good, Big O, but they are constantly on the field because offense can't sustain a drive. True. But the defense still gave up too many big plays, and they didn't pressure Carr enough. They had to blitz, and they got two of their three sacks on safety blitzes. Because Brandon Jones is the guy that has 2 sacks on the day. Your safety. Kid gave up a big play in coverage, too. Stop it, Antonio. What did Antonio say? Why are they picking on Antonio? Actually, Austin Jackson didn't have a bad game tonight, considering at least he's got size and athleticism, and he's only 2 months shy of his 21st birthday. What else do we have here? It's hard to blame the defense. You got to blame everybody, bro. Everybody. Defense is good at turnovers. That's about it. Yeah, they have that streak going on. Wilkins got a sack. He got it early. First play of the game, I think it was. The O-line isn't that bad. It's just that the QB play is terrible. It's a little both. QB play is very mediocre. This is why I can't watch the NFL. The damn referees determine the outcome of the game. And why can't the team convert 3rd and 4th and short 2 years of this crap? Big O show, radio show, Fuller catches it. We win. Simple as that. I still think it's a PI. It is. It was a PI. There's no doubt it was a PI. MJ Augusto says, blitzing a part of our identity. We just need to play complementary football on offense, need to stay on the field and score points. Who's going to argue with that? Nobody can argue with that. It's impossible to argue with any of that. I mean, the offense, it's just, I don't know how it gets better, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think hiring an OC is going to get you there. I don't think it's the OC necessarily. Now, are these guys exceptional OCs at this point? No. They're new at this, so you got to figure things out. I get that. But I can't say that the OC is the reason why they lost today. And then you look at the O-line. Well, they're young. They still have plenty of room to get better. At least they're not old players that are done. What we don't know is how much better can Austin Jackson get? How much better can Michael Dieter get? How much better can Robert Hunt get? How much better can Eichenberg get? Those are the things that we don't know. Because some of these guys are going to make it. And some of them aren't, but it's way too early to know who's what. You know, Austin Jackson could still develop into a hell of a player. And then we all look back and go, damn, dude, that guy started off really rough and then finally became a really good player. He wouldn't be the first O-line or D lineman that stunk it out early on in their careers and then finally figured it out and the light went on and they became a good player. That's the problem with all of this. And then our frustrations are tied to it. Our long-term frustrations are tied to it because it's been going on for 5, 10, 15 years plus 20 years. These are problems that have been around for a long time. So we're bunched up with all these frustrations, and these guys are trying to figure it out in the short term. And we're trying to hurry it up because we don't have any patience. But the fact is, Austin Jackson's only in his second year. Third game in his second year. It's a problem. All right. We got Omar Kelly. Let's get it going. EJDconstruction.com, Miami Dolphins report.
The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
All righty, there he is, Omar Kelly. He's ready to go. After watching this performance, it's kind of like a catch-22 because it was gritty. They were there in the end. They even had a chance. You can even talk about that PI in the back, but then at the same time, a lot of the same problems kind of reared their ugly head.
Let me ask you a question, and this is just a genuine, honest question. Would you feel comfortable if you weren't a fan of a particular team where an overtime game is decided by a referee putting a team on the 1 yard line? No matter, what team it is, just say you're just a general fan. Would you feel comfortable with the outcome of that game being decided in overtime by a judgment call?
Was it a bad call or was it a good call?
No, it would have been a good call. It was pass interference.
No problem. No problem. None. If you were stupid enough to commit the play, the penalty, you should not get a break, Omar, and don't call it and try to settle it on the field, because then you're telling one side of the team, one side of the game, you're telling them, well, it's all right for you to commit penalties right now because they're not going to call it on you. So then that creates an advantage for one side. So if you were dumb enough to commit the penalty in a key moment, you deserve the call, my brother. I look at it.
I will say this, and pass interference can be called on just about every play, just like holding can be called on just about every play.
Okay.
And technically, by the rules, if you slow it down, that's pass interference. But remember when we had the officials be able to review pass interference? It was something that you could throw a flag on the play and have it reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the number of those calls that were not overturned.
Oh, I get that. But in this case, in this moment, that was a penalty. I have no problem. And then
because we saw a slow down.
It doesn't matter, dude. Technology has helped us in that. That's fine. Do you know how many people got phantom calls and they didn't commit it? I mean, the biggest blunder in soccer history was the hand of God with Maradona, and everybody knows what happened with the video. But back then the video was so grainy. Nowadays, you would have seen it clearly. You know what I'm saying? So the bottom line is, Fuller gets interfered in the back of the end zone and nobody calls it. How is that good for the game?
No, I can't say that it's good for the game. I just would have been real uncomfortable. Now, very favorable for the Dolphins, but real uncomfortable for the NFL to have basically referees decide a game.
Well, hey, ask the University of Miami. They should have another national championship as Ohio State gets a phantom call that never happens. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just call the play if it happens.
I don't agree with you in theory, but I do have a problem with games being decided by referees. I've always been like that. I'm sorry. You can call things, but I don't want you deciding the game.
But what are you going to do if they commit an obvious penalty? You're giving that person an advantage, Omar.
That was obvious. That was obvious because we saw the replay and saw the slowed down action. It was maybe live action. And if you initially don't throw the flag, it's kind of hard for you to sit there and say, if you initially don't throw the flag, you probably didn't see enough to make it a substantive call. But yes, Will Fuller is a guy who he's got a name, he's got a repertoire, he's got a repertoire of accomplishments. You probably should have called it.
Damn right.
If it wasn't going to decide the game, it's going to decide the game. I'm swallowing my whistle. I just am.
You can't do that, bro. You're giving the defender an advantage in that play. That means the DB knows, okay, I can commit a penalty and I won't let the guy catch the ball on me. Screw him. I have the referees on my side of the ball. So so now we have a 12th man. I disagree with you on that one, man. I disagree. Now, let's get back to the game itself. While they hung in there and all of that, Jacoby Brissett, wow. No athleticism, not a quick twitch player, very slow delivery. I almost feel like you could tell me it's the same offense, but it's really not the same offense the way they're calling it for him. Dude, it's a lot of crosses, a lot of slants, a lot of short stuff right in the front.
They run crosses and slants. That is this offense with two crosses, slants. I would say we saw more screens.
Yeah.
You know, I literally just wrote. I'm late because I wrote a column indicting the offense. I think it's garbage. And it has nothing to do with Jacoby. It does have something to do with the offensive line, because I understand you got to do a lot more max protection because pressure is not there. You got to limit what you can call because you're not getting the 5 and 7 step drop stuff. Jacoby's buying himself a lot of time in the pocket, and that's respectable. It's a work in progress, but it's garbage right now. I mean, they might have the worst offense in the NFL. Maybe Jacksonville has a worse offense. Maybe the Giants have a worse offense. You know, maybe Chicago has a worse offense. But do you really want to be having conversations comparing yourselves to the worst in the league?
No. No.
And here's the most important thing, and this is what I kept bringing up in the column. What is their identity offensively?
They don't have one, dude. They don't have one. And you know, it's the screwed up part. They actually ran the ball today a little bit.
Yeah.
Why didn't they run it more?
I don't know. They ran the ball 27 times. I think that's a pretty good number.
I know. They should have run it more. They might have extended drives. They might have kept their defense a little fresher.
I mean, at the end of the game, they got the ball in the final minutes, and it was pass because they had to pass.
Well, at the end of the game, I understand that, but I'm saying,
I mean, they sucked in the middle of the game. So
they actually had. I mean, Gaskins was 13 of 65, and Brown was 7 of 31. And I know Brissett added, but still, the two running backs ran at a nice clip. So why not establish it a little bit more? That might even help you out with play action. That'll help you out keeping your defense fresh. You can extend drives. You can control the football a little bit more. I don't know. I saw a lot of good things that you could have done by trying to run a little bit more. That's all.
I'd have to look at the game again to see if there were situations, play calls that could have led to the run. I'm not saying that I'm a pull. Every week I go into it saying should have ran the ball more, should be more committed to the run. I believe that this team should be a run-first team. I'm sorry, if you want to win and you want to take some pressure off this crappy offensive line, run the ball, because maybe they could be good at that. But you know, today, 27 times, that's pretty damn good. I would struggle to tell you the games where they actually ran the ball 27 times without having a significant lead and need the run to kill the clock in the second half.
No, I know, but that's why I'm saying that the last thing I want is Jacoby Brissett throwing it 49 times. He
throws the ball a lot, and you don't get much yardage from it. And I'm like, he's thrown the ball a lot the last 2 weeks, and you're not getting much from it. And I'm not sitting here and saying he's playing bad or horrible, because he's got a lot that's working against him. But he shouldn't be throwing the ball 49 times.
That's a recipe for disaster. I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to accomplish on offense. And here's the other thing. I don't know how much limitations Flores is putting on them also, because I kind of get the feeling that they're playing with Jacoby, but they don't trust Jacoby. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he was slinging it late in the game, so clearly they trust him.
But at that point, you had no choice. You know what I'm saying?
Here's my thing. Jacoby knows he's got a 3-game audition. If he ain't playing like if he's not playing like, they can't take the job back. Play your game. Like what the hell are they going to do?
I think this is his game.
It could be. Yeah.
He talks a good talk, and he talks about confidence, and he talks about I'm a starter and all that, but he doesn't play with any swag. Zero. He plays with no swag. He's not the aggressive guy that you would think.
Listen,
let me tell you,
I disagree with you from this. I disagree with you from this standpoint because he does what I argue about this all the time. End of the second half, late in the fourth quarter. Why aren't you just slinging it down the field trying to get a PI?
Well, that's
He did that twice.
Yes.
Like I love that. It doesn't.
So is it him? Is it him or is it the OCs or
I
is
don't know.
it the coach?
I don't know. He did it twice. He did it twice.
I know.
I love that. I think that's big balls play. That's big balls playing right there.
I'm totally with you on that, but they did it when they had to because they were trailing and they had no choice.
True,
so
fair.
They had to open it up.
Fair.
And all
That's
that.
fair. That's fair.
But do that early.
All right, I'm with you. Sign me up. Where do I sign? Like,
you know what I'm saying?
I always think that like, I'm sorry, but just like you say, like refs, they'll call that early in the game now. They'll call that. They want some scoring. They just won't call it to end and decide the game.
Right.
They'll put you on the 1 yard line all game long.
When they call it late, it's so egregious that they have to call it. That's usually what it is. That's kind of the way the NBA does that too.
You're right.
The game, then right at the end of the game, everybody swallows their whistle.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everybody gets more physical.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way it goes.
You can hack players at the end of the game. At the beginning of the game, it's I like that. I respected it. I thought, that's the pass to Gesicki was a good pass. The 19-yard run to convert a third down, good play. He made about 4 plays in the game that were factor plays. And, I'm sorry. And I know this is probably going to hurt people's feelings. And I love Tua. So let me say I love Tua. But, I mean, what game have we seen 4 factor plays from Tua in?
No, not enough. Not enough, no.
Yeah, so I'll take it. It didn't amount to a win, but, if you're going to give me factor plays, I'll take that. I'll take it.
All right, so I'm going to ask you now a question you really can't answer. It's not fair to you. Dude, how do you solve this? How do you fix this now when there are no options in free agency to fix this line? You got what you got at quarterback right now. How do you fix this offense, dude?
I don't think the line did that horribly today.
Actually, you're actually right. Actually, there were actual positive moments for Austin Jackson.
Yeah,
today.
I mean, the worst performer on the line was probably Liam, and that he's playing in his third game.
Right.
He's going to have his moments. But I'm of the opinion, based on what we've seen so far, he might be the second best lineman on the team. Like, so why not just keep investing in it? How do you fix this? You run the goddamn ball. That's how you fix it. You run the goddamn ball. You learn how to stop the run because you goddamn can't stop the run, save your life. You figure out how to create more turnovers, and you invest in getting that line better, and you get to a healthy. And maybe Will Fuller is more impactful. Right now, you're getting good production out of Gesicki and Parker. Waddle's a little up and down. You try to figure out more gimmick plays for Waddle that makes it a little bit easier for him. But
by the way, he's dropping the ball too much, Omar.
It's consistent.
I know he's not losing the football. He only lost it once in Buffalo, but in every game he's had drops. Every
and
game,
practices
dude.
too. This is not a oh man, he's dropping the ball. No, I watched him drop ball in practice, and I was like, is this a consistent thing?
Well, I'm looking at it in games now, 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, he's got Jacoby Brissett. He's got Jacoby Brissett. It is what it is.
No, but he's making the play and then dropping the ball. That's the difference. Jakeem drops the ball not to make the play. He's making the play. It's after he's running or whatever. Then there's like this fumble and he has to pick it back up again. And it's habitual. so far for 3 weeks.
If we get to talk to him this week, I'll definitely ask him about ball security. But I don't think we'll get to talk to him. I think they'll give us one rookie every week. So next week it'll be Javon Holland.
Yeah, because dude, on the punt return last week, he dropped it twice in that punt return. Not once, twice. And it's like, holy crap, dude, come on, hang on to it. I'm watching that every week, and I'm like, come on, kid, let's go, because
young players,
you're going to start costing your team some possessions here.
This is what happens with young players, and you just got to go through it and grow through it. Like Jalen Phillips, he'd been having a rough early stretch. Finally got action. Finally got playing time. 6 tackles today. I felt his presence a little bit more. I mean, Holland, everybody was praising him. Pro Football Focus made him the top graded defender. Not like their grades are worth crap, but top graded rookie defender. And I didn't think he's been playing that great. So and today he was all right. He was okay. I mean, you're just gonna get up and downs with rookies and all kinds of young players.
Yeah.
Hell, Xavier Howard allowed a touchdown. So it happens.
Oh yeah. No, he got burned by Ruggs. The long run at the end of the game, it was Phillips trailing the runner and X right in front of the runner, and X misses the block, and the guy goes for like 30 yards on that run late in the game to get into position.
X isn't perfect. What he's going to do is he's going to get you the ball.
Right.
There's trade-offs.
Yeah, but what my point is, everybody made mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm not here to pick on X. It's impossible to pick on X.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
He's like the one.
He's going to make plays when he has to, and I get all of that. But on a day like today, even X gave up plays. He was part of the running game struggles.
I was listening to Derek Carr. For some reason, his press conference popped up for me. I don't know how. And he was saying something that I found so profound. He was talking about, and it was a question that was asked to him about Zay Jones and the stop on the 1 yard line that basically led to a safety, which got them going. And he's like, you just never know which play it is that you make that's going to be the catalyst that turns the tide of the game or impacts the outcome of the game. And that's truly the NFL. And right now you're not getting the Dolphins making those plays. Yep. Yeah, you have it in spurts where, an Orlando Roberts, gets a pick six and acts like he's got one leg while he's running to the end zone. He looked horrible running that back. But listen, it's just not happening often enough for them. And Jacoby Brissett delivered a couple. Mike Gesicki delivered a couple. You get that pass interference. What was it, Mac Hollins who got the pass interference?
Yes.
I don't know why he isn't playing more.
I don't get it either. By the way, I don't know why Justin Coleman's playing at all. Okay? At all. Did you watch that guy? That guy's overrated, dude. I don't know what they saw in him, but he was terrible today.
You know why? He's been off and on. You know why he's playing? Because Nick is speed deficient. And Nick is speed deficient. So it really comes down to who the slot receiver is, or what the package is, or what the play is, or what it's called for. Like, I found there, and this is the one thing that I've always, I'm not a huge Flores fan. That's not a secret. But they don't get out coached. And you can look at the strategy that they go into the game and you can say, that makes sense. That's sound. Byron Jones on Waller, smart, intelligent, created other problems, but it took away his favorite weapon. It was a Patriot way kind of play call.
Yeah.
Then you got
when you play those guys, that's the guy you have to take away.
Yes. Then you have X shadowing Ruggs on critical plays where the big play is on the agenda, or big plays on the menu. Not every play, but when the big play's on the menu, okay, X, I got Ruggs even going into the slot on him. And I'm like, man, that's smart. What I want to see is and yeah, they get 3rd and 1 stops and they get turnovers on downs and that's all great and good. But I want to see some smart coaching to stop the run, because either you don't have the personnel to do it, but when they need to run, they just beat you down.
There isn't a real linebacker that can run sideline to sideline and is a thumper. And
how many tackles is?
I like Baker as a pass rusher. I like Baker to kind of help you out, but he's not Zach in that sense that he goes sideline to sideline and he's going to get 160 tackles in a season because he's going to be all over the run. That's not what his deal is. He's a different kind of linebacker. I like him, but they don't have that one guy that can run sideline to sideline. You know, like Oakland or Las Vegas, they're using Denzel Perriman in that role to be that guy. And even Denzel Perriman has his ups and downs at this level too, but he does make some plays.
Give me one.
I don't know. I don't know if Miami has that guy yet at linebacker.
Yeah, no, and I would say that what's his name? Jerome Baker. He's missing more tackles than he should miss.
But I don't see him as a physical guy in that sense. I can see him getting lost in the trash at times, and that's like traffic, by the way, folks. If you don't understand what I'm saying when I mean that,
yeah,
I can see him. You know, I just don't look at him like certain linebackers I've seen in the past. You know, that can go sideline to sideline, and they're just physical beasts that will fight through the traffic to get to the tackle. You know what I'm saying?
He's a coverage specialist. That's what he does.
Right. That's what he is. Right.
So
yeah, and he can pass rush. He can also pass rush too. I give him credit there.
Yeah.
But he's just not the guy against the run, dude.
And when do you see him pass rushing?
They don't use him enough in that sense, actually.
Nah, they don't.
I wish they would I wish they would use him more, because you have the secondary to take that chance, and you've got coverage safeties that can do. So I would send him more, especially on a team that you kind of need somebody opposite of Agba. I'd actually be sending Jerome. They were successful at Brandon today twice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He's found a role as a blitzing safety.
Yeah.
And that everybody's a specialist on this team. So, we'll see.
All right. Do you give them credit for coming back and fighting the way they did after getting their asses kicked 35-0? That part I do admire about them, by the way. I got to say that. I got to give them a little love for that.
Nah, they're still playing like shit. Yeah, nah, I'm not. And they said it. There are no moral victories.
No, I know, but considering how limited they are, God, I didn't think that they would come back when they went down double digits. Omar, I mean,
they should have been down double digits.
Got to give them credit, because
they shouldn't have been down double digits to start.
No, they're not that good. So, they're not playing.
They should be. They were a 10-win team taking the next step.
Yes, I know. But they don't have that. They don't have their quarterback in place. After I'm watching Brissett, God, that was bad.
I don't know if the outcome is any different with Tua, and I'm a Tua fan.
No, you're right. You're right.
They're just not playing very well right now, and it's. To me, it's trenches. Fix the trenches, both sides.
Yeah, Tuttle's saying, wasn't Bernardrick McKinney supposed to be that guy? Bernardrick McKinney is good against the run inside the box. He's not an outside the box player. His speed is not going to get him to the outsides. He's a different kind of linebacker than what Omar and I are talking about.
Oh yeah, I mean, what we're talking about is a hard linebacker to find, but
right.
Exactly. I don't know what happened to Bernardrick, and I don't think it's just performance. So, and there's a reason why he's not playing right now. I don't know. I don't have all the facts to it, so I'm not going to sit here and scream from a mountaintop like, "Hey, this is maybe his heart wasn't in it anymore. Maybe he wasn't preparing for the week. I don't know. I don't But
or maybe he's just a 2-down linebacker and they didn't really
want Landon. So is a Landon.
But you can't have two of them on your team. That's the thing.
Why not? With all these injuries, like who's stopping them? Right now? There's nobody stopping them from signing Bernard McKinney, re-signing him.
You answered, well, nobody else is. You answered your own question just a couple minutes ago. Everybody's a specialist on this team.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the guys that transcend a position, which is the problem on this team right now, they don't have a linebacker that transcends the position.
Yeah.
That what we're talking about, those special linebackers. They don't have a defensive end right now that transcends the position. These are things that are hurt. They don't have a defensive tackle that transcends the position. And what I mean by that, ladies and gentlemen, because I know Omar understands what I'm saying, is it's a guy that can do it all, that does not have a weakness. Those kind of players. They don't have any of those players on this team, on this defense. They don't. That's the problem. Big problem.
Yeah, I don't think they have. They don't have. Yeah, I would say Xavier Howard probably is the only person that fits that description.
Right, and the guy that's supposed to be that guy is Jalen Phillips, but he's a baby right now. He's an infant, but he's the guy that's supposed to be able to drop back, rush the passer, help you in the run. He's the athletic end that can play linebacker and do it all. But at this point in time, he's not ready to do that. You know what I'm saying?
He's struggling. He's playing slow.
Yeah, like you know who got one of those guys? The Dallas Cowboys, Micah Parsons.
Oh, we'll see. I'm not a big Parsons fan. We'll see.
Okay, but he's the guy that has that ability to transcend and do it all.
Yeah,
that's that guy. That's the kind of player that they're looking for. Oh, what else you working on the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, my friend?
We've got basically 20 things we learned from this game. A lot. You know, and the column that's coming out right now, I actually got to do some tinkering and some work to it. You know, this offense, they need an identity.
Yes.
Until you get an identity, and I'm not a person who second guesses play calling. I explain the column like Bobby Bowden taught me not to second guess play calling and the reasons why you don't second guess play calling. But there are too many instances where you're thinking like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, just too many so far.
The red zone running it in there, running it in there every time, failing and running in every time until Brissett got in. Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. Wildcatting at the 1 yard line two straight times. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
that tells me you have no confidence in the guy throwing the ball. That's what that tells me. Let me put another runner in the box so we have the advantage against them. We take out the quarterback, and that's going to – because we don't trust our quarterback. That's basically what you did right there by doing that, because that's what they used to do with the Wildcat, because they couldn't trust anything else that they were doing. That was a problem. Limitations. Sucks. You good?
Yeah, man.
All right, baby. We'll talk tomorrow.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
You got it. That's our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins reports.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Who's winning the race, by the way, since you're watching? Denny Hamlin? There you go. All right. We're going to wrap it up here on the show, folks. Please smash the hell out of the like button. That is very important that you do that. If you want to donate to the program, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show on behalf of Sean Stanley, our exceptional producer, putting it all together. All the great people out here at Sports Grill. We'll be back here next week, starting off at 11 a.m. as the Dolphins take on the Colts and hopefully improve to 2-2. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show.